Resume the recording. Sorry, I cut you off, Megan. We'll have to edit you into the beginning of the recording when we send it out to everybody else. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is in webinar format, so if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or the Q&A that's on your screen. You should see them on the top right over here. They might be on the bottom or the side of your screen. So go ahead and put questions in there, and we've got staff that'll be feeding those questions in. And then if you have any questions that aren't answered, obviously raise your hand, I can unmute you, and we can go from there. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll see how many more times I put 2021 in here. There, I have it right up here. I just missed it on the most important cover slide. So we are very excited to be kicking off our 2022 winter season. It's hard to believe it was a year ago that we were kind of going through this process for the first time. Whoops, sorry about that. Going through the process for the first time, but we're all getting a little more used to some of the COVID guidelines. And I do want to just echo what Megan said, in that we want to thank you guys. I think our last winter season, our whole year of 2021 was successful, and that was due to all of you being willing to abide by the guidelines to keep everyone safe and make sure that everyone was still enjoying their experience as well. So we definitely appreciate that, and we're going to continue to appreciate that, as well as your flexibility as we move into the 2022 winter season. I will go ahead and say that all of these pieces are what we're hoping to accomplish and make happen. Again, we do appreciate your flexibility, but we know that we've made it through 1 year of it, so I think we can continue to move forward with everyone's hard work. So I'm going to go ahead and just touch base on everyone's favorite topic, the COVID guidelines. We'll get through these, and then we'll move on to the rest of the pieces of everything. Just as a reminder, masks need to be worn at all times by coaches, spectators, and volunteers. Okay. And then I'm going to cover mask guidance for the athletes in the next slide. We do have some sport specific COVID best practices that we're going to share on the website. We obviously want you to make sure you're adhering to all facility guidelines. We do want to try to keep our teams practicing.
Susan?
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt real quick. We're only able to see the first slide. It hasn't advanced.
Okay. Not bad. Let's try that again. There we go. Nope. All right, give me a sec. Sorry, guys. You'd think I'd have this figured out after a year of it, but no. Okay. Are we good now?
We got it. We're good.
Perfect. Thanks. And then I just want to make sure we're still recording. Perfect. We are. Okay, great. So we are asking that teams practice to a maximum of 25 people in your group. If you have issues with this, I would reach out to your regional manager. I think this is kind of our guideline at this point that we'd like to start with. So if you think that's not possible, we kind of did that because I think that number usually covers about 2 basketball teams if that were the situation. And then, obviously some of our larger ski teams and snowshoeing teams, you might have to split up into some smaller groups, but you can discuss that with your regional managers as well. And then just as a reminder, we are asking spectators to abide by all the rules for the sports as well. We're still happy to provide any PPE equipment you need, whether that's extra masks to have on hand, hand sanitizer, anything like that, we can still provide that. Just feel free to reach out to us as well. Okay, next up. Okay, can you still see my screen? Is it good?
Yep, we do.
Okay, great. All right, next up is everyone's favorite topic, the mask guidance. So we are asking everyone, all coaches, staff, volunteers, and spectators at all times, regardless of your vaccination status, to wear masks. Masks are going to be worn by athletes and unified partners at all times, with the exceptions below. Our outdoor sports and kind of our sports like figure skating and speed skating, they're a little bit more spaced out. So we've got our outdoor sports, Alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, snowboarding, and snowshoeing. That's outdoors. So when the athletes are competing or actively practicing, they can pull their masks down. When we're just standing around, kind of getting instruction, getting going, we'd like everyone to have their masks on at that point. Figure skating and speed skating, as long as everybody is spaced out enough, we will go ahead. You guys can pull masks down while they're actively practicing and competing. For the basketball season, we're asking that everyone who is participating in basketball wear masks at all times. And that is due to the fact that it's indoor and it's a lot more close contact than some of our other sports that we are offering over there as well. Okay. And then there's just some more notes on kind of our mask guidance at that point. Okay. I did see someone had their hand up. Did we get that question answered? Let's see. Give me 1 second, sorry. Okay.
Susan, we can try and man the
Okay, that'd be great.
as well.
Yeah, if you've got someone, I thought I saw a hand go up, so if someone can take a peek at that, that would be fantastic. And feel free to interrupt me with questions on that. All right, next up.
And just a reminder to everyone at the bottom, there's that Q&A button. So you can put them in there and we'll try and answer them. And then as people's hands are up, Susan, when you let us know, we can put let the person talk with their question.
Great. Looks like Bobby Walker has his hand raised up there. Oopsies. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just move forward through this piece. Our general and sport specific safety guidelines are all going to be located on our website. I'll show you those pieces later. All those forms are going to be looking pretty similar. If you've coached last year, I did see we have some new coaches this year, which is awesome. Welcome aboard. But if you coached last year, a lot of those resources and safety guidelines are going to be pretty similar to what they were in the past. And then just a few more notes about high risk individuals as well. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn things over. Oh, no, not yet. This is still me. One more everybody's favorite topic is the COVID paperwork process. We very much appreciate you continuing to be diligent about the COVID paperwork process. We are trying to work out our best system to capture that information and store that in our management system where we have all of our other data. We've just been having a few hiccups with that. So we appreciate everyone taking the time to fill out those risk form and code of conducts, as well as the communicable disease waiver. That, if you just do that, I would say sit down, do that your first practice with everybody, and then you send those off to your regional managers and you're done. Then you don't have to worry about those for the rest of the season. At each practice, everyone will need to sign in on the team sign-in sheet. Okay, and that's that sheet. It's kind of a long list where it has everybody's asks for name, email address, phone numbers, all those pieces. That's probably the most important thing. And that's not just your team. So if you have spectators there, if you've got volunteers there, whoever you have at that practice at any point, please record them on those team sign-in sheets. That what we use to, if we do have any exposures, to notify individuals that have been exposed or have been in that situation. So those, feel free to send those to your regional manager after each practice. I think that would be just an easy, hopefully just get that off your plate and continue to do that. So again, we appreciate all the extra work on paperwork and following all these new procedures, but it's kept us moving for the last year. So I'm hoping we can continue to move forward with it. Any questions on those items that came up in the chat or the Q&A that you guys want to shout out to me? Okay, great. I will then turn things over to Adrian Mora.
Hey everybody, apologies. My video is not working for some reason, but I'm gonna work you through the next couple slides. Everybody's second favorite topic, the athlete application in Class A forms. So we've talked about it for a while now, but just to reiterate, the athlete application is available online only. It means we do not have any paper forms. The application is easily available. We'll go into the links on the next slide, but it's an easy process to get on and get through it once you are able to complete or have your physical examination form completed and you submit that through the athlete application. Please note, we are no longer accepting any old forms. So if you do have any forms on file from previous years any prior physical examination forms or application forms, those are no longer valid. So please discard those and do not distribute them to your athletes. We are moving forward with this fully online athlete application. It's important that we keep everybody on the same process. So current application of medical exam forms are on our website, or people can contact us as regional managers to receive those links. You should have received your paperwork information from your regional managers over the last week or so, and that would include the paperwork status on your athletes, including links on where you can find the athlete application and the Class A forms. If you need help at any time, feel free to reach out to your regional manager, but athlete families, coaches can also reach out to our help desk, and we will be able to provide support in completing the athlete application. I know that one common question that we receive from families is, they don't have access to the internet or not tech savvy, and they require support with completing the athlete application, and the online form is not accessible to them. So our help desk does provide over the phone support in completing that athlete application, so long as the athlete already has the physical examination form completed. So if you have that form completed, you can submit a help desk ticket through the link included here, and our team will be able to provide you with that over the phone support and provide you that access to complete the online athlete application on your behalf. So that said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our regional manager team, or regional services team. So let's go to the next slide, Susan. Here are those links we were talking about before. You'll receive this slide and the full PowerPoint deck following this call, and you can access these links and find them on our website. So you have the Become an Athlete page, our athlete application page, which will link you to the athlete application directly, and then also the help desk, and then the link below at the bottom of the page, which will take you to the physical examination form, which you can print off and take with you to a doctor's visit. And we'll go to the next slide. And here, dates and deadlines for Class A applications. So as I mentioned, you should have received your rosters from prior competitions. So that would have been 2020 or 2021, depending on which one you competed in most recently, from your regional manager, which will reflect current up-to-date missing paperwork needs. If you're a new team that hasn't competed with us previously and are competing for the first time this season, you will not find yourselves listed in those documents, but you can reach out to your regional manager with anybody who is on your team, and we could look them up and let you know if they are already in our system. To that end, if you also have new athletes or unified partners or coaches on your team who did not compete in those competitions and are not listed on your roster, feel free to also reach out to your regional manager about those, and we can look into their paperwork on file as well. Please review this list now. It's really important to get ahead of this as early as possible. We have about 2 months before we reach regional competitions, so plenty of time for athletes and partners to complete their paperwork, their applications and Class A's. So please get this out to your families as soon as you're able, so we can get ahead of that. The earlier we get this done, and the more we get paperwork completed prior to competitions, the less of a headache it is for everybody leading up to competition and any of the last minute completion of forms. So really want to emphasize, please start working on this now. I think it would be great to get this out to everybody as soon as possible. Lastly, I really do want to emphasize that athletes, coaches, and unified partners will not be able to compete this year without an active application on file. I'll repeat that one more time. Athletes, coaches, or unified partners will not be able to compete this year without an application on file. That means regionals and state competitions. We will be sticking to this pretty closely, so there won't be any exceptions. If you run into any issues leading up to it, please let us know. But it's important to get on this now, get your athletes completed so that we don't run into any issues and have to turn anybody away on the day of a competition. I see that the chat is very active, so we'll open up for any questions at this time. Susan, anything I need to address?
I think most have been answered as we go. There is a question, if you did an athlete application for a new athlete application, you haven't heard from anyone, we'll find out what region you're in and you'll hear from your regional manager. If you filled out the seasonal registration form, those teams are being placed and you'll hear from us at the mid to end of December. But I think everything else, Adrian, had been answered.
Great. Okay. That closes my part, so I'm gonna kick it back to Susan. You're up.
Awesome. Thank you. Just wanted to reiterate, like, now is a good time to start working on these. I know we kind of beat it, but I think, you know, as applications trickle in, as help desk tickets trickle in, it's, you know, a little bit more manageable for us to get ahead of it. But, you know, 2 weeks before an event, when our team gets hundreds of phone calls and tickets, it gets a little cumbersome for them. So I think, you know, if you can start getting the word out now to your teams, to your coaches, to your athletes, to get these things going, I think that'll be a lot less stress, hopefully, at the end of the day at the event once we get closer. I think if we can send out the shortest possible report of people that need paperwork once we get to the competition, and that 2 weeks beforehand, that's most ideal for all of us, and I know for you guys as well. I know it's definitely not easy to get that stuff, but like I said, if you need to, we're here to help you. So let's just try to get things out as best we can. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna mix things up a little bit. I feel like we always put health screenings at the very end, and we're very excited about them. So I'm gonna turn, oh my goodness gracious, I got so excited I went through all of them. I'm gonna turn things over to Jenna, who is going to touch base on all the awesome items and things we've got coming up for MedFest.
Thank you, Susan. So yeah, just piggybacking on getting medicals and physicals. And we do have 2 really great opportunities happening this weekend and next weekend. And we do still have slots remaining. So this is our MedFest screening, which is an opportunity for athletes to come and get their physicals done by us for free. And so the first one here is coming up this weekend in Parker. So if you're in the Denver region, even possibly like southern northeast or northern southeast regions, maybe getting to Parker isn't too horrible of a drive on a Saturday morning. So we have 24 slots remaining, with now the times start at 8:45 a.m. With the last slot starting at 11 a.m. And I think there's still a couple slots in each of the times available, so mixed up between those 24. So if you have athletes who are needing to get their physicals completed, this is a great opportunity to do it. They will have to complete their athlete application prior to coming, and it's a different link than the ones that Adrian was sharing, but that would be shared with the athlete after they sign up. So if interested, the registration link is there. And then the following weekend, we have one up in the Northeast, Saturday, December 11th. It's going to be at the Fort Collins Senior Center. We're going to go from 9 to 1 for that one, with the last time being at noon. And we do still have 15 spots for that as well. So still plenty of spots in both of these for athletes to come and get their medicals completed. And then there is the registration link for that. So athletes from all regions are welcome to attend as well. So you don't have to be in a specific region to attend. That's just kind of where we were lucky and able to schedule them for this year. Awesome. So this is kind of our projected thoughts and plans for our healthy athlete screenings for the winter season. So little too far out for me to have time and location details. The location is going to be the same location as where the competition is happening. But we really are excited to be back and offering these for you guys in a safe way. And so I really want to get the word out because some of these screenings, you guys and our athletes haven't seen for a couple of years. So I really want to make sure you guys know about them. So if athletes were expressing maybe concerns in some of these areas, you can try and get them over to the screening at the competitions. And one thing I also want to point out with this is if say you have an athlete who isn't competing in basketball, but they're in the Northeast region and you see we have an opening eyes screening and your athlete has talked to you maybe about needing new glasses or something like that, you can still come to the screening. You don't have to be competing that day to attend. All you kind of have to do is just, I ask that you reach out to me just so, I keep an eye out for you. But keep that in mind as well with all of our screenings throughout the year. But this is kind of what we're looking at for screenings. This is all tentative. It could change just depending on how things happen, but super excited about state winter games as well. We're going to put together some emotional health kits for athletes there. So that's going to be a really neat opportunity for everyone. Next slide, please. Awesome. So another thing to keep an eye out for at competitions are our performance stations. So if you do not see a healthy athlete screening happening, there is a high chance we're going to have some performance stations set up so that there is some type of health offering for athletes to attend and to receive knowledge. And our performance stations also come with some nice little goodies and giveaways for athletes to utilize at practice or when they're at home. And so our performance stations are really great. They're super quick stations about depending on the one, it can be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes where the athlete hangs out with the volunteer. They receive some education either on competition readiness, hydration, nutrition, physical activity. So they're super fun, interactive stations. Same thing, time and location details are still coming, but they're going to be happening at wherever the competition is. So keep an eye out for those and bring your athletes over to those because it's a great way to receive some really helpful information to utilize on and off the playing field or court or snow or whatever sport they compete in. Next slide. Awesome. And then if you do not see a healthy athlete screening or any performance stations, don't worry, there's still going to be help for your athletes. And so this will be through some health for all kits is what we call them. So they're little kits that athletes will get near awards, and they're going to have a bunch of helpful tools in them. And they'll kind of be geared towards whatever sports season it is. So winter sports season, there's going to be, some more winter associated things. And then as the year goes on, they'll kind of change slightly. But overall, they're going to have some education on nutrition, some just general health education, like washing your hands, staying safe. Some have some information on brushing teeth. Some have some mindfulness activities. So they're really great kits for athletes to take and take home and utilize those tools on a day-to-day basis. So no matter what this year, you're going to see some type of health at competitions, whether it's a healthy athlete screening, a performance station, or our Health for All kits, where we'll also have some, like, as you guys can see, there's some signage there. It's really tiny. It'll be bigger at competition, but those signs will be up as well to help remind athletes of healthy choices. Next slide. All right, and then 2022 MedFest. So we're working on a goal to be able to offer MedFest screenings in every single region. But this is going to take a little bit of time because there's, got to be recruitment and clinical directors and all of that stuff. But we're working on being able to have at least one screening, if not more, throughout the year. It would be nice if I can have one every single season if the need is there in your region. And so we actually do have 3 dates confirmed, as you guys can see on the slide there in our Denver region. We have an awesome partnership with Rocky Vista University in Parker. And they've set us up for a majority of 2022, which is pretty exciting. And then, as you guys can see, these are some tentative dates to keep an eye out for in your regions for additional MedFests. And then, as you can kind of see below, that's my tentative plan on how to roll out adding regions into the MedFest. That is my goal. You guys can all cross your fingers with me and hope that all happens and I can find clinical directors to run these screenings with us. But yeah, our goal is to really have this opportunity for our athletes throughout the year. So that way, when they have an expiring medical coming up, they can know, like, all right, I know the summer MedFest is coming up. I'm going to go there and then get it done and I'll be good to go. So that's kind of our plan for that, and being able to offer this opportunity in a nice, welcoming environment as well for our athletes. So you're not just like bebopping around to random places to get physicals done if you don't have like a good doctor or something like that. No, I think I have a couple more slides actually. Yep. Yeah, 2 more. Okay. So super exciting. The USA Games, a virtual wellness challenge. So Special Olympics North America has put together a USA Games challenge. The last USA Games, they did a step challenge and it was very successful. So they are repeating that again. And this time it is being opened up to all athletes. So you do not have to be competing at USA Games in order to participate in this challenge. Everyone is welcome in the state of Colorado. So the challenge is 20 weeks long. So it's a good one. So it's going to hold you accountable for quite some time. And the goal is to get 1 million steps in 20 weeks. I know that sounds very scary when you look at it, but if you are one of those people who likes to wear a little tracker and count your steps, it's easily attainable. You probably walk more than you think you do in 20 weeks. So it's definitely an attainable goal. With it, there's going to be 20 weeks of health education topics as well. Just covering a whole wide range of health. You're going to see stuff from Fit 5. You're going to see stuff on nutrition. You're going to see mental health stuff. It really spans like the whole range. Like I said, it's open to all athletes, and registration for the challenge or sign up is currently open at that link there. And I can always pull that and pop it into the chat in case anyone's super eager to get signed up right now. With this challenge too, there are 4 chances for prizes. Yeah, pretty cool. So everyone who register is going to get a nice little goodie bag from us. And then we're going to have another incentive at 2 months, 4 months, and then there's going to be a finisher t-shirt, which is going to be really cool. And this is for all athletes and participants who actively participate in the challenge. So you can't just sign up and then not record anything. You do have to actively participate to get the prizes. And with this challenge, everyone will be utilizing the new SO Fit app. So it is going to be an app on your phone for you to record everything. It's super neat. It has the principles of Fit 5. So drinking 5 bottles of water a day, eating 5 fruits and vegetables a day, and exercising 5 days a week for 30 minutes. And so it has those things and you can like check them off on the app. It's super cool and interactive. Everyone's pretty excited about it. And it's gone through a lot of testing. So it's good and ready to go. So yeah, that's a super fun thing coming up here. I think I have one more. Yeah. And then lastly, I know some coaches who have been with us for a while, you've seen our fitness captain nomination plug a lot, but just putting it out there again, we are always looking to grow our athlete leaders in the form of fitness captains. So those athletes who are super engaged in practice, they're all about encouraging others to lead healthy lifestyles, be active, great sportsmanship, that, you know, positive person on your team always cheering everyone on. We're looking for those athletes who are interested in leading their team a little bit more and holding a little bit of a leadership role. So on the screen there, you guys can see kind of a little bit more about what is a fitness captain and why to have one on your team. So if, you know, what I said made you think of an athlete on your team, you can send a nomination email to SoCo Fitness Captain at SpecialOlympicsco.org with the following information: name, contact information, the teams they play on, the sports they play, and then just a brief reason, like why are you nominating them to be a fitness captain? And also it's helpful too when you do the nomination to us to let your athlete know you nominated them as well. Because otherwise sometimes it's like, who are you? What is this? And we're like, oh no. So we'd have to backtrack for a second and help get them really excited about it. So we're looking for more athletes. My coworker, Casey, who is new here. Some of you guys have met her, but she is our health and wellness coordinator. She oversees the fitness captain program now, and she's working on getting those trainings set for January and February of 2022. So looking for athletes all over the state to add to our fitness captain list. And then I think there's a few questions for me.
Hey, Jenna, we got some questions in the chat for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think this question is related to the step challenge. Is it just for athletes or can anybody participate?
Anybody can participate in Colorado.
Great. And then if they don't have access to a phone, can they participate?
Yes, it is also web-based as well. So you can access it from your internet browser.
Awesome. And then are there any other challenges that we will be doing in 2022?
There will be, but we have not figured them out yet. We were kind of waiting to see what is all happening with the USA Games Challenge, and we just received that information this week. So we were waiting for that to make sure we didn't repeat a bunch of things that are already happening.
Awesome. And last question, is there a flyer on the step challenge that can be shared with coaches, athletes, etc.?
There is not a flyer yet, but I will relay that to Casey and we can work on making one now that we have all the information. I know she was working today to get our website up with the information and get that material over. So we're working this week to get all the pieces together.
Awesome. I think that is all the questions.
I think does the app track your steps? Yes, it does. It does link to a variety of like Fitbits, Apple Watches, all those kind of like little trackers. And then if you don't have one of those, you can also manually put it in as well.
Perfect.
Now I think that's all of it. All right. Turn it back over to you, Susan.
Great. Thanks, Jenna. It's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. So I'd encourage you guys to, make sure if it's happening at events, you take advantage of it. Those MedFests are a great way to get ahead of some of the athlete applications. You can look ahead to the fall and realize that's a good time for you to get your athletes in. So great work on that stuff, Jenna. Good stuff. All right, moving on to our winter season information. So if you are a head coach or local program coordinator, forgot a word there, sorry. And if you've not yet registered for the winter season, please do so now. You'll click on this link right here and it will take you to this website. You'll click right here and that will take you to the form that you will go ahead and need to fill out. This is capturing a whole lot of information from you. It is replacing the seasonal interest form that we had sent out last year. It's kind of combining this with athletes that are filling this out as well. So this was something new we started this year. We've had a lot of awesome feedback from it. There have been a ton of athletes and coaches that have signed up through this. So again, not every coach needs to sign up on it. So if you're an assistant coach and you just check in with your head coach or the local program coordinator to see if they've filled that out. And then as a reminder, that closes Friday, December 3rd. So if you had planning on having a team and you haven't done so, please go ahead and hop in that link and get that squared away as well. Okay. Next up, I'm going to talk a little bit about our website and what our competitions page is going to look like. Uh-oh, hold on. I need a second now. Oh no. Sorry, my thing is in the way there. Okay, there we go. So this is our competitions page. I know many of you have been on our webpage, but we made a few updates and changes to it. So I just wanted to talk through what it's going to look like. We've got these great new graphics per our seasons and for events. So here's what we've got. We've got the upcoming winter season competitions, and then all of our competitions are listed here. As you click on these events, you will see that there's going to be information coming up very slowly about the event. It'll have the location. This is where those of you who have been around before, we used to post schedules and those kinds of things to the website. We're going to start doing that again, and this is where things are going to be posted. They will be posted on the event pages. So rosters you'll need to double check, schedules that you can share. So you guys can share this out with families so that they can have all the same information that you do once we start to get this information up. And now I need to get back to this page. Okay. So we've got all those here. That'll all be up there. On this side, we've got all of our sports listed as well as all of our resources and entry forms. So we've got our best practices, our entry form examples, and then we'll also have the SOI, the SOCO rules and the SOI rules listed up here as well. And then here we've got some of our required COVID forms. Now, if you're saying, wait a second, what about basketball? It's part of our winter season. Well, basketball, we think is big enough that we've got it has its own section here. So again, excuse me, we'll have all the competitions up here. That'll be listed up over here. It'll take you right to the event page where all the information will be listed, and we'll have rules and best practices up here as well. So that's, I would say, try to utilize our website as best you can. I think it's been kind of reorganized where I'm hoping this is good for you guys, but again, love your feedback on it. If this format isn't really working for you, let us know and we can see how we can try to configure it. We just want to make sure you guys have all the information that you need moving forward. Okay. Let's see. Next, whoopsie, skipping through things. Next up, we've got our winter season schedule. As you can see, we've got a few dates that are still to be determined. Oh my goodness gracious. This February 5th date is to be determined, and our February 11th and 12th we're still finalizing some details on those as well. Everything else should be relatively set here. The only thing I did not add on here are the DPS school day basketball events for middle school and high school. And Rick has those and can share those out with you guys as well. But as you can see, we're doing what we can to offer all the events that we can, trying to go back to as typical as we can with all regional events leading up to state competitions as well. Okay. We will be having just one state figure and speed skating competition, and that's going to be in April. And that was just was an ice time kind of thing. We had a hard time snagging that ice in February and March. So that was what worked best for Apex. So All right. Next up, I'm going to move to some Alpine, snowboard, snowshoe, and cross-country ski best practices. Again, I kind of lump these together as they're pretty similar because they're outside. Where masks must be worn at all times, except when you're actively practicing and competing. For training at Copper, which I'm going to get to all those questions after a little bit later once we get through everything else. So if you've got Copper training specific questions, hold tight with those and we'll get to those at the very end. But I think from what I heard from coaches, that kind of groups of 5 seem to work really well. So we're going to probably stick with something similar to that, where you have specific course times. We'll probably be able to have more people on the course, so you'll have a little bit longer time period, but we also did hear that it was a whole lot less standing around in line, and hoping you guys can appreciate still that structure that we will try to keep making it happen. So I'm going to try to do your best to avoid sharing equipment in these situations. And if athletes will need help with equipment, please make sure that coaches and athletes are masked, especially when they're in close contact and trying to get some snowshoes on and things like that. I know it can be a lot of closeness. So we just want to try to make sure everyone is keeping safe about that. Okay. Here's just a little bit of Alpine ski and snowboard information. Again, stay tuned to the end of the meeting for more questions on the training at Copper as well. But I did want to share that we are going to be doing a clinic on December 11th at Copper Mountain. I do apologize for the short notice. Copper it's been challenging to get a hold of them. So anyways, we'll be hosting that December 11th. If you've been to one before, you know the clinicians are awesome and it's usually a good time. So space is going to be limited. Pending on the numbers we have, we might try to break it up into 2 different groups. So if you could if you're interested in attending, if you could fill out this link right here, and then I'll take you to something that looks just like this, just some basic information. Steve, our clinician, wanted how many years you've been coaching Special Olympics. Are you doing skiing or snowboarding? Do you have race experience and your ability and speed? And, you know, Steve just wants that information to be able to break you guys up to make it the most beneficial for everybody. So if you can hop in there, you can probably do it while I'm talking, as long as you're still paying attention. If you're interested in going, hop in there and, you know, just sign up if you're interested in attending, and I will get you all the information on that over the next week, as it'll be next Saturday. So, and then I've also included a training video here that Steve wanted me to include. This is just for everyone to keep an eye on there's just some racing techniques and some teaching techniques for racing. Any questions on our snow sports, so to speak, that came through, Adrian?
Yeah, are you able to put that link in the chat at some point?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I can't access it from the other PowerPoint.
Oh, no. I don't know that I'm able to because I'm in this form.
And you'll send this out afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll include that just in the email that goes out. So, and if I'm able to get to it while we're still in this, I'll throw it in the chat as well. Okay. Fantastic.
And we got a question if there's going to be a beginner course for new boarders and skiers and or a skills course.
As far as our competitions, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so as far as the training day, the trainings that's up at Copper, that's not really a learn to ski. So teams have typically in the past used those days on the other slopes to learn to ski with some of those athletes. But the day of competitions, we will set up beginner courses and we'll set up the skills course again if we've got athletes that are interested in doing that. Mm-hmm. Okay. A few basketball best practices I wanted to touch on. Again, masks must be worn at all times, and we want to try to keep your group total to 25 within there. Again, we're thinking that covers 2 teams. Again, if you have issues with that, please reach out to your regional manager and we can talk through that. I wanted to go ahead and talk through some events that we're going to offer, typical events that we've offered in the past, 5v5 traditional as well as unified. 2 years ago, whenever we last held basketball, it seems like forever ago, we did do some 3v3. So if we've got anyone interested in that, go ahead and jot that down in the chat so we can circle back with you. it's something we're willing to offer. We just have to make sure that we've got enough teams to create the competition for it. We will be offering the All-Star Skills Challenge again, which is what we offered last year. And then we're also going to be offering a new team skills that's coming out. So if you've got, your team that maybe isn't ready to be back on the court this year after taking a year off, the team skills is something that combines the team and they're working together to get their score, right? So the All-Star Skills Challenge is just one person going through the skills, and their scores are compared to other scores. The team one is the entire team can go through it. And it'll involve, things like passing leading up to shooting and, 3-man weave kind of thing, and some different things like that. So if that's of interest to you, there'll be more information coming out to you about that as well. And then I would love to, we talked about before having a master's division. So if you've got a team that would kind of fall in that master's division, it's a little bit older, feel free to also add that in the chat so that we can work to make sure we've got those teams division together as well. Any questions on basketball? Great. Okay, real quick before I get to the next one, I'm going to pull up this link here. Whoops, this link here. I'm going to throw this in the chat for you guys in case you would like to sign up. Kathy, the age for masters, I didn't want to put an age on it because then I feel like I was going to be in that age group. So I would say we would probably look at, 40 to 50 and above in that situation. Yes, 3v3 would be half court. And yet, Bill, if that 25 limit is what we're hoping to have for both teams as well. Again, if that's not possible, just reach out to your regional manager. Okay. All right. Souvenirs. Just wanted to give you guys a big heads up on the hottest sale of the year that is taking place tomorrow at our office from 3 to 6 and Friday at our office from 10 to 1. We will have all our souvenirs out. We'll have some special sales taking place, and it'll be all the hottest items of the year. We'll plan on selling tomorrow and Friday. So if you are interested in around, we'll be set up in the back storage area of the office. Just come on in and you'll be able to see all the merchandise and see me. I'll get to be there. I'll get to see you as well. I'm missing so many of you guys. But I think it'll be a great time to do your holiday shopping early, and there will be no delays on shipping because you'll take it with you. All right.
Susan, got a couple questions real quick on snowshoe and cross country. Is there going to be an opportunity for a clinic prior to the season for coaches?
We'll follow up on that. Let me follow up on that. So if Adrian, you could gather the information on who was requesting that, we can talk through that. Awesome. Anything else? Okay. One more thing before I get to copper training questions. I haven't forgotten about the copper folks. If you're on here, don't worry. I did want to mention for coaches who have spring season teams, registration is open and will close on January 4th. So if you've got a spring season team, hop in. And I apologize, I don't have the link on here. Adrian, if you're able to throw that in the chat, I can make sure I add it when we send this out. But if someone wants to throw it in the chat, that would be awesome as well. And then if you have any questions, please contact your regional manager on that. Any general questions? Anything we didn't answer in the chat? Anybody have anything? Awesome. Well, that is my last official slide before it's training at Copper question time. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. If there's any questions, I'm happy to stay on. I want to, again, thank you guys all for your hard work, being here, joining us tonight, getting ready for the season. I know it got here before I was ready for it. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I know we're gonna jump into 2022 with just as much as excitement, if not more than we did in 2021. So we definitely appreciate everything you guys do, and we're here to answer any questions if you guys have any. Otherwise, feel free to enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at the souvenir sale. There's someone that has a hand raised, but I'm apparently not smart enough to figure out how to see who that is. Oh, Bobby, is that you? Do you have something, Bobby?
Yeah, I just gave Bobby talking permission.
Okay, perfect.
That might have been an error he mentioned earlier, but
Oh, okay,
Bobby.
no problem.
And then that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Right. Anybody have any copper related questions? There's maybe another hand up. Cindy's got her hand up.
Okay, Cindy, you should be able to chat. Cindy. Yeah, bus transportation. Susan, were you gonna go over bus transportation?
Yes, we are still, I just got everybody's information this week, so I will update you guys on buses. We are planning on offering buses. Still kind of figuring out the logistics of where all the pickups and everything will be, as well as how many buses and all those pieces. But I will get you guys information. It'll be similar to a couple years ago, where it'll be a $5 charge for everybody to ride the bus. And yep, the Southeast region is included on that as well, Karen. So we've budgeted for that as well. So I will be reaching out to you guys next week. I'll be going through all that stuff. And those of you that are, yeah, Greg, I agree with you. We need some snow. It's very sad putting up Christmas lights when it's 70 out. It's nice, but it's not the same. Those of you that are going to be doing copper training, I'll be getting the tickets this weekend from them. So what I'll be doing is probably just meeting up with you guys as I did last year to get you tickets and bibs for everybody that is going to be training. So head coaches, just keep your eyes out for an email or a phone call from me. And we will get all those pieces ironed out to be ready to start in January.
Susan, got a question here. How do unified partners work as it relates to skiing?
Yep. So when we do unified skiing, it is a total score of an athlete and a partner. So for example, if I'm skiing, I'm snowboarding down, and that's my score. The athlete, Kyle, is snowboarding, it's his score, and then we total it up. And then that is what you're awarded on and division based on. So it's not, the unified partners are not assisting the athletes getting down the hill. They're not racing at the same time. It's really just two individual scores that we're totaling for that unified score. Yeah,
Great.
Karen, I'll post that.
Can you post a link to copper training for coaches here?
Yep, got it. I beat you to it.
And then will this a recording of this call be available following today?
Yep, definitely. We will. We're going to get it loaded up to onto our YouTube channel, and then we'll share that out with you guys along with all the other links that you will need for the winter season.
Do we have start dates and times?
Yes, we do. And I am going to go specifically back to find it, Mike, because I don't want to make up the date for the training. So give me 2 seconds to hop into our system if I can. I want to make sure, oh, and I can't. All right, give me 1 second, Mike. I'll do some digging around and I'll find it here without a problem. I just need a second or two.
In the meantime, Cindy, did you have a question for us?
My question was about the bus.
Okay, great.
Almost got it, Mike. We will be offering Sundays and Wednesdays. So our first Sunday will be January 9th. Our first Wednesday will be January 10th. And we'll go all the way through up to the state competition, which will be March 5th or 6th, the weekend of March 5th or 6th. Christina, if you get me your the winter season registration, I think we chatted about it at bowling. If you send that over to me, the numbers on there will let me know how many ski passes you need, and then I will plan to meet up and connect with you to get you those ski passes that you would need for the rest of the season. Aspen, yes, state will be one day. Athletes will only be competing on one day. So still working out some of the details of if some teams will come on Saturday and some teams will come on Sunday. But each team will only be competing on one day. Correct, Karen. No, I think that's Karen. No overnights. All right, any other questions? Great. Well, I will happily stick around for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna end the recording.